Weekly Wrestling Heat. Of course, Moise introduced everybody, so we're here, man. Of course, our boy Angel
Man,
might or might not come on, depending on what his situation is this evening, well, this evening, more to say. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. Weekly wrestling news,
We had a
man.
lot going on, but we're gonna try to wrap
yes,
this. We're gonna try to wrap this up in an hour or less. So let's see what happens. Um.
go for it.
All right.
Man,
So,
um,
let's talk about
man,
Pink first.
man, today WWE, the whole wrestling industry in general, suffered a major loss. Um, the main man, Howard Fink, passed away today
Yeah.
at age of 69. But yeah, so
Did they
condolences
say
go
how he
out to the
passed
whole
away?
family. No, I
I
didn't read too much into that.
I I want to say it was like heart complications, but I don't remember.
So nothing
Yeah,
that
there's
no, so natural causes, huh? Basically,
Essentially, yes, it wasn't anything
essentially, yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Gotcha.
but yeah, no, Finkel's got that voice that people are always gonna remember.
Mhm.
Um, he no one had a bad thing to say about him, so was really loved in the locker room. And Roman posted today, just like a couple hours ago, actually, even when Fink's condition was getting worse and worse, he would always check up on Roman's condition. So that's awesome to
yeah.
hear.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a sad thing to see. A great, I think he was WWE's first employee, first ring announcer, and then he was also the first Hall of Famer that WWE inducted
Yeah.
into the Hall of Fame. So
Our thoughts and our
it's a
prayers
I
go
thought
out to
it's
him when he
Andre
lost
was the first. I thought.
he was in the first
Oh,
class.
okay.
first class.
Uh, but yeah, no, that was it's a big loss for the industry, to be honest. He was the voice of WWE for a long time, and he actually, you know, I grew up hearing him, and I once he retired, it was kind of weird to not see him anymore. So I was always excited when they brought him in for special events or special programming. So
Yeah,
man,
it was him and like Lillian, the two that really stood out to me because Lillian was like the
Right.
first female we had doing it full time, you know. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
but yeah, it was those two, and then Simmel was fun just because everyone make fun of Tony Simmel, but Howard was like the first ring announcer. Ring announcer.
yeah, he was the legit one that who whenever even
So
Triple H said this earlier. He's like when Chimmel, I mean when Fink was saying your name and for when you won a championship or anything, that made your career. If you have Harfinkel announce your match, especially if it was a championship match and you won, that he helped put a lot of these stars over in the industry
correct.
that were getting into it. So, oh man, rest in peace, Howard Finkel, man.
All right, and from one bad news to more bad news,
Oh man,
WWE.
yesterday,
Oh, go ahead.
You
man, I'll
got it.
let you do this one. I'll say the names and you just go ahead and state the
Yeah,
news.
WWE released a ton of talent.
Ooh.
Elias is going to give you the names, but yeah, they released a lot of people. They all have a 90-day no compete. We'll get into the news about the specific ones that came out after Elias gives the names.
So, starting from top to bottom from this list: Kurt Angle, Drake Maverick, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Eric Rowan, Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda, EC3, Aiden English, Leo Rush, Primo and Epico, Mike and Maria Kanellis, Zack Ryder, No Way Jose, and Rusev. Producers, coaches, and other employees that got
All right,
furloughed or
and
laid
the
off:
list of producers, yeah.
Billy Kidman, Mike Rotunda, Dave Finley, Pat Buck, Sean DeBari, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock, Shane Helms, Lance Storm, Ace Steel, Chris Guy, Serena Deeb, Kendo Kashin, Andrea Listenberg, which is a SmackDown writer, which was had to do a lot with the Mandy
Oh, the
and
storyline, yeah.
Orty storyline,
Oh
and
no.
Jerry Soto, who was also
Spanish ring announcer.
Spanish
Yeah.
announcer. I feel like we're missing some. No, we got everybody, and then
I
NXT
think you got
talent that
everybody.
got
I think you got
released was
everybody alive.
Dorian Mack.
We got NXT talent still, yeah.
No, NXT talent got released. Dorian Mack, which is AKA Den Meta, Deanna Perrazzo, MJ Jenkins, Josiah Williams, Alexander Jaksic, Alyssa Miles, and John Quasto. Like Moise said, WWE talent is actually on a 90-day non-compete clause, which I think they still
You
get
get
paid
your
for those
bottom
90
guarantee
days.
or whatever it's called. Yeah. Downside.
Yeah. NXT talent is on a non-compete for 30 days, and they get
Yeah.
paid for those 30 days. Producers, coaches, and some of these other people that were laid off were on furlough. So all those basically still work for the
End of
company, but
July,
they're
they'll
not
find
getting
out what they
paid
want
during
to
this
do with
time.
them, is what I was reading.
Yeah, that too. Once
Yeah.
they reassess the situation.
I hope
No.
we get everyone back, but obviously there's probably going to be a couple people that want to sign elsewhere. I hope it doesn't happen,
Yeah.
but it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The biggest.
I'm already starting to see the Gallows and Anderson are pretty much headed back to Japan from
Well,
what
there's
they
a
were
travel ban, so they're not going anywhere
hinting.
soon.
Yeah, and see that right there. To me, that
Well,
one was
not
the
anywhere
biggest
soon,
blow.
but I don't
To
think
me,
they'll resign.
to me, that was the biggest blow.
I mean, but there's no wrestling going on
Right.
anywhere. I mean, if they're getting, I mean, to me, if they're still getting paid, that's kind of like a positive thing. It sucks that they got
Literally weeks
released,
after
but
WrestleMania.
you know, if they don't decide to sign back with WWE,
Yeah.
I mean, with this whole thing going on, it's like I keep telling people, wrestling is a revenue based or
Right.
business. If you're not making money, you can't afford to pay your talent. WWE has the biggest roster in the industry, and if you keep going the way that they keep going, it's gonna be 3-4 months before WWE is gonna have to lay off more people. If they would have laid off more people than they did now later on down the road if
And
they
there's
kept
rumors
going the
that
way they were
they're
going.
going to reassess this on
especially with
Monday.
the but not
Yeah.
only that, you got to take into consideration, fellas, with the whole deal concerning. Don't they have a meeting with the TV execs? I'm thinking like on the 27th or the 28th, I believe.
It was today they had to report their revenue earnings.
They had to postpone it. Right. It got postponed to next couple of weeks.
Maybe. Yeah, I didn't check up on it. I barely read any news today. I've been so surprised because of the releases, honestly. But yeah, we'll dive into these releases for a couple of minutes and then we'll go on. But yeah, I met I met Jack Ryder and I met Heath Slater multiple times. Both were awesome dudes. It sucks. Those were the two that hurt me the most. I know they weren't being used a lot, but just because I felt like they were really good dudes, just because I've had a great experience every time I met them. I would actually go to Access whenever I'd be at Mania on the days that Ryder was there, just because I love talking to the dude. But yeah, and if you're one of those trolls online that's saying, "Oh, well, they let go of Rusev, but they kept Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin should have got fired." Go fuck yourself. These are real people losing their jobs, so like I said, go fuck yourself.
I mean, and I agree. I mean, if you're making fun of these people because because you think that one person should have lost their job over the other, I mean, you need to go to hell because it's not a it's a bad situation that everybody's in.
This particular segment is not a comic relief. People are actually out here losing revenue, losing money. People don't even know how they're going to feed their families in the next couple of months. So the fact that people are comparing apples to oranges, saying this person should have got fired, this person they kept this person, why did they keep this person? This is a really big deal across the board.
And obviously,
this doesn't affect your. I'm sorry.
And obviously, a lot of these people who are talking all this mess really don't know how a real wrestling business runs.
Exactly.
If you're gonna release your top talent that draws people, Baron Corbin draws heat. So you're gonna. I mean, they made a decision to release people that they thought that weren't, whose either contract was almost up, they weren't being utilized,
Lived far away. Yeah, like
lived
all
far
that
away.
stuff
So
amounted. Yeah.
it wasn't a easy decision for them to make, but they had to make a decision, and it's not just superstars that got affected. People at corporate WWE corporate got furloughed, so that
Right.
says a lot about what the company's trying to do to stay afloat. Now,
Mhm.
if now think about it like this, and on the opposite side, people are like, "Well, AEW is doing everything right." No, they're not. They're still running the risk
No,
of
they're
losing
not. Not
money as well.
necessarily.
Like if you keep going with this pandemic, if this pandemic keeps going on for another couple of months, everybody in the wrestling industry, there's a chance that the wrestling industry could die if this pandemic keeps going on. Because if nobody's getting revenue, everybody's hemorrhaging money, you might end up seeing the end of a lot of these wrestling promotions. Like Ring of Honor is doing a good thing of paying their talent. That's a good thing. They're paying their talent through this whole thing. But if everybody keeps doing this, there might not be a Ring of Honor or AEW or WWE to come back to if this lasts any longer.
Correct.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the Drake Maverick video?
I kind of don't.
Yeah.
That kind of broke my
I'm a
heart.
little sad about by watching that video. Not.
If you haven't watched it, you really see the emotions of Drake Maverick. The
Yeah.
I
best
don't
thing I
think
could say,
anyone I've talked to finished it the first time around. Like, I don't think anyone
yeah,
finished the whole video the first time around.
I went a minute and 30 seconds and I cut it off. I couldn't watch anymore. It just my heart broke.
I
Every
listened to the whole thing. I listened to the whole thing. I damn near cried in the car, y'all. I was like, man, this is getting real for real for real.
Yeah. Sad stuff. We're gonna review NXT and AEW today, but we're gonna start with AEW because it was basically an AEW dark card. Britt Baker versus Enhancement Talent. Britt Baker won.
hold on,
Uh,
hold on, hold on, hold on. Before we do that, the best thing, I'm gonna say one thing that I liked about Monday Night Raw:
Okay.
Drew McIntyre giving that chest chop to Austin Theory.
that was
That's why I said when I was watching the match, Moist, I was like, word to Big Show. Shh.
that was
That so all right, continue.
yeah. So
So,
yeah, NXT. We started with Kip Sabian and Chuck Taylor.
uh-huh.
AEW.
AW, sorry. I'm probably gonna be out of order on this because I'm just telling you from the top of my head there was nothing interesting on this show. Um, Kip Sabian,
Mhm.
Chuck Taylor, uh, Orange Cassidy gets involved, Penelope Ford gets involved. Kip Sabian wins, pretty competitive match, probably the best match of the night. Britt Baker squash match,
Yeah.
John Spears squash match, Sammy Guevara squash match. Um,
Yeah.
Archer and Colt Cabana was pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then that actually started the night. Sorry, and then you had your main event, which was Moxley and Hager,
J-
which people wanted to crap
yeah.
on Gargano Champa, but this was horrendously bad to watch. If you're gonna do a match like this, you don't do one. You hear me out, Christian. I know you kind of enjoyed it, so let me tell you the things I didn't like about it.
Go for it.
It's a no
Go
holds
for it.
barred match. You start with a lockup.
Right.
One.
Right.
If you're gonna do a match like this, you do it like Gargano Champa, where you have no announcers, or you have two announcers, because one announcer can't make it work.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what I was kind of confused. Now I was confused about that. Why was Jim Ross only one doing commentary? But I understand. I understand.
Okay,
Continue.
it's no holds barred. Yet the only weapon being used is a steel chair towards the
It's the
end.
chair. Yeah, with the
And
bust to the rib. Yeah.
if it's gonna be something like that, you have Hager dominate the whole match, and then Moxley has to use it in the end to save himself, right? But it was just weird how it was introduced and everything. And then this thing really irritated me. There was like 6 or 7 apples on the ground in that arena. Why are there
I didn't
apples
notice
on
the
the
apple. I didn't notice
ground?
that.
Yeah,
How about you?
it was filmed at Daly's Palace. I wonder if they had QT Marshall in the audience and he just ate an apple and left it there. I don't know what happened, but there's like 6 or 7 of them. Yeah, rewatch the match. You'll see at least 3 on camera, and then you gotta look for the rest of them. But there's
I'm gonna
apple.
rewatch. I'm gonna rewatch it.
Yeah,
But for the
but
most part,
So
with this particular
another, I guess the
wait,
um.
go ahead, Chris, on, and then
Go
I'll go
ahead,
to you,
Christian.
Elias.
aside from that, I mean, what I liked about the match. Well, honestly, what I liked about the match was the fact that, of course, John Moxley, he held his own. I mean, but the only thing I can say about this match that I really just was kind of questionable about, obviously the commentary, because I like Jim Ross, I love Jim Ross, but him being there by himself doesn't make the match any better. I felt like he was trying to like stall. I mean, even before we went to commercials a couple of times. Then, of course, like you said again, what you saying, the steel chair. I'm like, are y'all just not pulling out the steel chair? Okay, that's great. But for the most part,
It
even
didn't feel like it.
right. But even still, and then of course, it doesn't even make the match any better with no audience. So but other than that, to me, that was like the only match in AEW worth watching because like I said again, most everything he said, everything else is just like squash matches. Like, why am I even watching this?
Yeah. One thing I will say though is if, and I'm comparing it to this because it happened last week. Did
Right.
you watch Gargano Champa last week, Krishan?
Of course I did. Of course I did.
Okay, so when you see that, you saw the weapons being used, you saw the interference from the wife, the ring being torn apart. That's what a no holds barred match should be. The parking lot, everything, right? Like that's what a no holds barred match should be.
Right. Right. But I feel like in their defense, the only reason they even called it a no holds bar match, Moise, was the fact that it wasn't even in the same arena as everybody else was. That's the only thing I
That's
gathered out of it.
bullshit.
I'm
It's
not
in the
saying
ring.
that that's not what I'm
If you're gonna
saying.
use if you're gonna have a no holds bar fight, the only thing that you use is a steel chair out of the whole fight. Like just call it a wrestling match, a no disqualification. Don't call it a no holds bar. Call it a no
Oh no, I hear
DQ.
you. I'm not. You're
But
right. I'm not saying that you're not. I mean, you're correct on that. I still don't understand why they call it a whole bars match. All I'm saying is that's the only thing I gathered out of it. Maybe they just called it a no
Well,
holds
the
bar because it
reason
took
they
place
called it
somewhere else.
no holds barred instead of a no disqualification was they were trying to do submissions and pinfalls on the outside. Remember,
yeah,
Hager got the choke in a couple of
Yeah,
times on the
when he
outside.
was by the audience chairs and everything. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was
I
all
mean,
for AEW. I think this was.
apart from that, the most entertaining segment that I've seen in AEW was the Bubbly Bunch, which was
I thought it was too corny.
uh, it was entertaining. That was it. Like it was a laugh. Like
Yeah, I think this was the worst episode AEW has ran. I think next week will be a lot better. Don't get me wrong. I am gonna give this episode a D.
yeah, I agree. It's a D, a D plus at the most. I mean,
The fact that they
it's
had all
not.
of them squash matches, I would be surprised if I said a D minus, damn near F. The only reason I won't give it an F because I did appreciate the match with Jake Hager and John
They
Moxley.
tried hard. They tried
That's
hard.
it.
I'll
Other
give
than yeah, they tried.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go recap NXT.
Yeah, go for it.
So the opening segment was a recap of the 6-woman ladder match and the Ciampa Gargano match, where basically it includes the moment where Candice turned on Ciampa. Then we start the match. The opening segment was Finn Balor versus Fabian Aichner.
Eichner.
Eichner.
I
Eichner with
know.
Marcel Bartel on the side. This match itself was, man, I enjoyed this match.
This was a solid. Eichner looked good, and Finn looked like he was getting beat up. Like you saw his back after the match.
Yeah. And what
Um,
was it? It's moist. There was a spot on there. There was a spot on there where he body slammed before Finn Balor made the pin. He had what's the name? Agner. He body slammed
Eichner.
like he threw Finn Balor. I was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
like them boys
And
going
I
strong in
actually
here.
remember. I remember when they did the first, the second, or no, the first cruiserweight championship tournament.
Mhm.
I texted my friend before 205 with the thing. I was like, dude, this guy's a cruiserweight, but he does big moves. It reminds me of what La Parca did, like those heavyweight moves.
Yeah,
Like he can do a moonsault, but he can clothesline the hell out of you too.
I don't see.
yeah,
I'm gonna
and
be honest. I don't see him in the cruiserweight division though. Like I wouldn't be shocked if they move him
no,
up.
but that's why he's not in the cruiserweight division. Like that's
Okay.
why he's an NXT UK superstar, so he's an NXT UK part of Imperium. So,
Right.
uh,
Yeah,
and then man, this really shows the British strong style. Like they weren't holding back on each other at all. It was heavy hitting.
and
Um,
I'm not a fan of Finn's matches, but this one I enjoyed.
and then afterwards, Finn stares at the camera and says, "Let that serve as a message. Next time we meet, whenever they may be." Basically, throwing a shot at the NXT UK champion, Corey
So, Krishan,
Walter.
you're right. So they did have him in the cruiserweight tournament. He was 205 at the time. He put on 15
Right.
pounds of muscle, and now he's 220.
Well, shit. Keep that shit going.
No,
Golly.
he looks like a stud. So,
That's
um,
what I'm.
all-
That's what I was getting at.
I think aside from Alexander Wolf, even Marcel Bartel and Eichner look like good henchmen. Like if they separate Walter from him, they could be like a solid tag team,
Solid tag team. Yeah,
solid henchman to the next Seth Rollins storyline you're gonna do or whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
Uh, Afterwards was just basically backstage things with Velveteen Dream.
waiting
Basically
for
being
Adam
on.
Cole to show up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also basically them saying that Charlotte Flair was going to address the NXT Women's Division right after the commercial break. She comes back, says that she wanted to come NXT to run through all the women of the NXT roster. Shout outs to Rhea Ripley, Mia Yim, Candice LeRae has women that she hopes to fight and wants to give Mia Yim a shot specifically. So basically, she's basically told William Regal that she can line up anybody they want and she'll take them down.
Because so
Um,
Io's the number one
You know,
contender, but she wants to face Mia Yim first because Mia Yim was her first NXT official match.
yeah. So,
it sounded like
and
to
then
me she hide
afterwards,
from Nia Jax, but okay.
bruh, what are you talking about?
But what I'm
Nia
saying,
Jax is on
I
On
know
SmackDown.
Raw.
I got that part. I got
On
that
Raw,
part.
and Charlotte went back down to went to
When it's the
NXT
NXT,
where
yeah,
she's the NXT champion.
I'm aware of
She's
that.
the
All right,
NXT champion, so she has to
I am
defend her title
aware of
on
that.
NXT.
Hey,
So where is she
and,
running away from
and hey,
Nia
Brock,
Jax?
even if she was running away from Nia Jax would probably end up hurting her non-storyline because Nia Jax is reckless in the ring. Um. Anyways,
I
Chris,
think
on
I,
you were
I
here
would.
last week. I went on a Nia Jax rant.
Hey, I'm just saying, if I had to
I don't
choose who
think.
would win,
But here's the thing, Chris, on you can't do that storyline regardless because it's heel versus heel, and that never gets over.
Yeah, Nia Jax is a heel and on Raw, and Charlotte is the NXT Women's Champion. And honestly, I would rather see anybody on the NXT roster right now versus Charlotte than seeing Nia Jax versus Charlotte.
I think,
that's
I
just my
think,
opinion. But okay,
I
I get it.
think if this goes on till Survivor Series, I think a Sasha Nia Charlotte match could be good. I think that could be
Yeah,
entertaining. Um, but I don't see Becky losing the
Foresight.
title. I think we're gonna get Rhea, Rhea, Becky, Sasha probably,
and Sasha for a 3-way for the
I can see that.
women's championship
or not
match.
the championship,
Uh,
just
not
best
the
brand.
champion versus champion.
Yeah. Next match. Let's go.
Then we got into Aaliyah versus Xia Li, which was actually a pretty interesting
Aaliyah
match.
looked like $1,000,000 today.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and then I mean Xia Li got her revenge because she lost the last match
No, she didn't make
against
it to the last match because Aaliyah attacked her beforehand. Remember, because she broke
yeah,
Aaliyah's
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, they actually have a built-in story, which kind of came out of nowhere because Aaliyah's nose got broken in the match. But no, Aaliyah's getting better in the ring. She's adding to her move set. She's more smooth, less botches. She better late than never, and she looks good.
Yeah. It, it was still a good match altogether. Xia Li got the win on that one. And then we get a video package hyping up the upcoming tournament,
1 second
crown
before
the
we go
interim.
into
And
this. Where do you think they go with Jia Lee? Because I don't see her in the title picture anytime soon.
I think they did, whatever they're doing with her is a good job. I mean, she's had a lot of spotlight in WWE so far, going in the Royal Rumble, and doing a lot of stuff. So
They
she's
might
getting
put,
used
I think,
properly, in my
yeah, she's
opinion.
pretty good. I mean, at the very most, they might put her in a feud with somebody. I just don't know
I
any
think
particular
Jia
who.
Lee's a good. You have to beat her before you get to the champion. Kind of like what they did with Io Shirai, you know? Like you have to
Okay.
beat her before you get to the champion.
Yeah.
So that's where I see it. But yeah, then what happened next?
They do a video package hyping up the upcoming tournament to crown the interim NXT Cruiserweight Champion, which Drake Maverick
Right.
is still going to compete in, as part of Group A. They tell who's gonna face each other, and then it goes back to it goes to commercial, and then we come back from commercial and we see Matt Riddle on the phone with Pete Dunne. Basically Riddle's trying to get Dunne to tell Riddle who his tag team partner is going to be. And basically Dunne knows who it is, but Riddle doesn't. So we have to wait until that match happens to see who it was. Then we go into Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Akira Tozawa. That match,
Akira Tozawa
Ooh,
is
ooh,
so underrated in the ring.
yeah, very underrated.
who is
You end up
training
seeing
him?
a lot of. He's at the performance center and he trains every day.
But the
So
thing is, like, when they don't have him doing like the weird yells and they have him like wrestling, dude can go. And Swerve
Right.
hasn't had a bad match ever, but
And see, that's what I was thinking.
and I think we all thought Swerve was
Yeah,
gonna win. So I like how they pulled out Tozawa winning.
yeah, it was a nice
mhm.
match between the both. The dive up to the outside from Tozawa was pretty nice. And
That
man,
boy
this
was in the
match,
air for a minute, Lars.
yeah, he was. And then basically Tozawa hits the German suplex, sending Scott into a turnbuckle. Then hits the spinning kick on Scott's head, dropping his canvas, and then goes and hits the senton for the win. Um, Afterwards, we go into Tegan Knox versus Raquel Gonzalez, with Dakota Kai at ringside.
This is where they
Um,
started to lose me.
yeah, this one was I'm kind of tired of the Tegan Knox Dakota Kai / Raquel feud. But either way, what happens is that Dakota Kai gets involved, and then Shotzi Blackheart comes out and saves Tegan Knox, and Tegan
Right.
Knox wins the match.
Okay, so I am gonna comment on this match. If anyone wants to go right now, because I'm gonna go on a little rant.
Oh Lord.
Tristan,
I mean,
Elias,
the
all
only thing I
right.
can say is the only thing I can say is with Raquel, shoot, they might as well put her in the singles competition and call it a day. Her helping what's her name, Tegan, whatever her name is, shoot. That's all I can say about that. Cause that girl
Okay,
is big. She's strong as hell.
so Tegan Knox, she's all right in the ring. The signing wizard is not a
Yeah.
finisher, so I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
see it used as a finisher.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna use the shining wizard as a finisher, since you've torn both your ACLs, use the knee brace on it. Use the knee brace
Yeah,
as part of the shining wizard. That's why it's called the shiniest wizard, as you like to call it. But Tegan Knox, everyone sees money in this girl. I don't see it. I don't see money in her. I don't see money in Mia Yim. I don't know why these two are getting the spotlight. Like, there's girls like Vanessa Bourne on the roster who haven't been used in who knows how long, and it might be a travel issue, whatever. But even before all the travel issues, like you're putting girls like Tegan Knox and um, Mia Yim out there. Tegan Knox should go to NXT UK, get over, and then come back because they hype her way more than she is. And that's all I'm gonna say.
I
They
think
hype her as a superstar, and I don't think she is one.
I think that they see her in ring skills. Same thing with Mia Yim. They're both real talented in the ring. Their gimmicks kind of don't make sense a little bit. But they also are hyping Tegan Knox as the Lady Kane.
Yeah,
So
but that's fine and all. But Kane didn't come off of 2 ACL injuries, and is what I think should be labeled as injury prone. When you get injured, you got to work your way up again on the main roster at least. So Triple H should do the same thing with the NXT talent. Like, you're coming back from an injury, work your way up. They even did it with Tommaso. He didn't get a title shot right away. He had to work
yeah.
his way up to a title shot, and that's what they should do with Tegan Knox. Like,
Well, I think the Tegan Knox thing was a continuation of the storyline that happened with the turn at NXT War Games. So
Yeah, that's what I got
yeah,
out of it. So
but why is she getting number one contenders matches and all this? You know, why is she getting like? I think Dakota has a real gripe. Like, why did she get the War Game spot and not me?
yeah, I think that was just all storyline
No,
stuff.
I understand, but it's irritating because I don't know. I don't think I think
I just don't think you're sold on Tegan Knox and Mia Yim. That's why.
I think there's too much rocket fuel in both of their rockets right now, and they instead of having a full tank, bring it down to like a half tank or a quarter tank, and then fill them up later.
Do I see them as champions? Not yet. But they are good talent to
yeah,
use.
that's and see that's what I was getting, and that's what I wanted to respond to. It seems to me, I mean, they have good talent, but you also got to take into consideration as far as how they're able to work in the ring. Their in ring work, honestly, is a lot better because even though they're athletic, they're able to. I mean, when we have a crowd, at least they're able to. Tegan Knox is able to sell a crowd, even though we don't have one right now. But I'm just saying, I understand where you're coming from, Moise. But you got to take in consideration. I think they're looking at the standpoint of how does the crowd attract to them when we have one.
Yeah,
Now,
I
obviously
think
not. Uh huh.
I think I agree with Chris on this one. I think they have the crowd appeal. Mia Yim has a
Right.
lot of support. Has a lot of support. So does Tegan Knox from the fans. So I think that's another reason why they're
Yeah,
on television.
because I can
Let
see
NXT
from this
start.
match here. Uh-huh.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying because I can see how that could how what you're talking about. I can see what you mean when from that match they had yesterday. But all I'm saying is, even though she may not look like it, oh God, they're giving all this fuel, they're giving all this push or whatever like that. You have other people that's more deserving, if you will, or needs more of a push. With her in particular, it's all about how she attract the crowd and all that great stuff. So.
But here's the thing. I don't. Okay, when NXT finally starts touring, hopefully after all this is done,
Right.
Tegan Knox and
Right.
Mia Yim aren't gonna get over because they're not over at takeovers. Like, I was at Worlds Collide, the crowd was silent for Mia Yim. Like, we wanted Kaylee Ray to win.
Yeah.
Um, and that's not what you should have because Kaylee's the heel.
Yeah, but WWE crowd sometimes it's kind of backwards.
I mean, yes, it was.
I see where you're coming. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. I do understand where you're coming from. They're popular. Obviously, their merch, they're following is big. So, and we can't deny they do have good in ring talent. So I don't know why they're pushing them or why they put him on programming, but I'm not complaining. I like both of them. So.
Give Mia Yim the dollhouse gimmick again.
I agree with that.
And
if you give her the
Marty
dollhouse
Bell
gimmick,
back.
Marty Bell is signed to NWA.
I don't think NWA has contracts. I think they pay per appearance. But I guarantee he'd make more in WWE. And Marty Bell is oof.
All right. So after ending the rant,
hey, was Marty Bell in the Mae Young Classic?
Yes, she was.
Yes,
she was in the first Mae Young Classic.
I thought I was freaking out, but I was like, no, I think she was.
So we come back and then we see another Gargano vignette saying, waiting to see what Tommaso Ciampa has to say. Then we get a little bit of backstory of Keith Lee and how his upbringing was and his devotion to pursue wrestling. Afterwards, we get a quick one. I wouldn't say quick squash match, but we'll get a nice match between Dexter Lumis and Tehuti Miles.
Dexter.
Dexter is a freak.
Yeah, he's
nice as possible.
He's freaking. He's weird as hell.
Yeah, but that's
the gimmick.
He's money. Yeah,
Oh, he's
he's
money. Oh
money.
no, he's money alive. Oh, he's money. But
So
I'm just saying.
afterwards, we still get a backstage vignette of Velveteen Dream waiting on Adam Cole. Then we go to commercial, and Adam Cole is still sitting at home with his championship. He says that he will not show up because Dream doesn't deserve a title shot. Cole
Right.
says that there's no one in WWE who deserves a shot at his championship. And basically, he basically goes on to say that Undisputed Era is going to catch the regain the NXT Championship. Then we go back to the arena and Bell Team's music hits. There's podium at the top. The entrance rant. Dream calls out Cole. Dream says that he thinks a lot of Cole and he knows Cole is actually the last remaining champion of the Undisputed Era. During Dream promo, Finn Balor is
Yeah.
shown standing behind Bell Team Dream, which was awesome to see. And then afterwards, Finn approaches Dream. Finn says that he doesn't know Dream doesn't like him. Takes an issue with Dream calling out Cole, the greatest NXT champion of all time. Balor says that Dream better watch what he says, or he will have to date with the Prince. Dream calls out Finn Balor and issues a challenge for next week. Finn doesn't answer, but walks to the back. Dream snaps, and the lights go out. And afterwards, we go back and
No. Velveteen says, "You want to go on a date? We'll go on a date next Wednesday to set up the match."
Well, no. He was like, want to be. He like Finn Balor, be a gentleman. Take me out on a date next week. So.
And the Twitter shots continue though. There's a picture of Velveteen Dream and Kathy Kelly that he posted. Oh man, that was funny. He says a queen dates a king, not a prince, something like that along those lines. So basically, taking a shot at Finn Balor's past relationship with Kathy Kelly, which I believe that Finn Balor actually married somebody better, but that's personal
Where'd you
opinion.
see that at?
It's on his Twitter.
On
I just
Twitter.
saw it too. This is hilarious.
So, when we go back to come back from the commercial break, Malcolm Bibbins issues a challenge to whoever wins the NXT championships, saying that Rinku and Surab will take the titles from them. Then they announced that next week Shotzi Blackheart will team with Tegan Nox to take on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez in a tag team.
What is up with Shotzi Black? That's another woman. Like, oh, the NXT division is so good, and you're pushing these mediocre talents in my eyes. Oh,
I think they're good. I don't know.
like you think everything in the women's division is good, which is great. It's
better than AEW though.
It's great.
That is true. That is true.
I completely agree. I think Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, and Shotzi Blackheart, if they went to AEW, they would be the best. That's great. You could push them there, but you can't push them in NXT right now because Dakota Kai. I'm gonna just name off women in the NXT roster. You tell me if they're more talented, they should get more screen time than those three. Okay, Shotzi, Tegan, and Mia Yim. Io Shirai. Yes.
Io Shirai is the number one contender.
Okay. But yeah, I'm just giving you names. You tell me if they're more talented and if they appeal more. Candice LeRae.
Okay.
She has a storyline with Gargano and Ciampa.
I don't want explanations. I just want yes or no's. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got those two. Dakota Kai.
I'm not going to respond because she's currently in the storyline with them three. That three of the women that you're stating on there.
Keep going.
Okay. Charlotte Flair, obviously. Rhea Ripley, obviously.
Yeah.
The NXT roster is so talented, I can just keep going. Santana Garrett, I would rather see over these girls.
I understand that. I don't think they found the way to bring Santana Garrett into the main roster yet.
I don't think.
Okay, Chelsea Green.
They put in a storyline.
Right?
Chelsea Green, it was part of the storyline, and they're gonna push that.
Deanna before, right?
Deanna before, but she's no longer part of the roster.
I just named you 5, and that's nothing.
Yeah, but everything that you said, I had a comeback. They all.
That's not what I was asking. I was asking, should they get more TV time than those girls? And none of them are.
They are getting more TV.
No, they
time.
aren't. Charlotte had a 2-minute promo.
Okay, that's
Tegan Nox had an 80-minute match, or not. But
at the same time, Charlotte Flair showed up on Raw and had a segment on Raw.
Okay, that still doesn't add up to the match. If you add both those up,
they're still getting screen time.
I don't know, man. But 1 second.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Moise. Who doesn't? Okay. Okay, but let me ask you this. Okay, Moise, if that's the case, then who do you think out of all of everybody y'all just named, who do y'all think deserve more screen time?
Okay, Chelsea Green.
Okay.
I'll agree on that one.
Okay, Mercedes Martinez. I forgot she was even on the roster.
She had her
Oh, okay.
moment on Royal Rumble, and
That's
then
not what I'm
everything.
asking. Mercedes Martinez is way more appealing than those three women. As a heel, hell
So you think
yes.
she's money? So she thinks she's money.
As a heel, yes. Kaden Carter
Yeah,
as a babyface, yes.
Okay.
Scarlett,
Scarlett actually is about to debut with
give
Yeah.
Cross, like
give
I
me
predicted.
Tainara Conti over these girls because at least she could pull off a babyface.
Tainara is a good heel.
But she could pull off a baby
Tainara.
face too because she respects the ring. That's what I'm saying. Like, uh,
I think you personally don't like those
you
three.
you
That's
know you
why.
know who I hate on TV that I see a lot of? Rob Parker, and I feel like Rob Parker because of my rant. And I hate that because I'm a Patriots fan. So I hate that I feel like Rob Parker right now.
The fact that you
Oh,
even made
that's
that
funny.
comparison, Moise, I haven't. I won't even speak on that.
That's funny.
All right,
But all right,
let's
I mean I get where you're coming from. I do get what you're coming from, but I think right now they're the ones that have the storyline going on, so I think that's why they're getting the TV time. Once this storyline
Right.
gets finally over, I think we'll see a lot more people, and I think they're trying to use the talent that they're having right now. So I think with this
Yeah.
quarantine, they're trying to utilize the talent that's close
But
by
all of
instead of the
NXT
people there.
talents live in Orlando except for Vanessa Porn apparently, who lived in Arizona, which is annoying.
There's a couple of other superstars that don't live in the Orlando area. They live in the outside of
Right.
Orlando.
Okay, Big
So
Show lived in Tampa, but he can make the 1 hour drive. So can they.
yeah, I think it's right now they're just going by what the
All
storylines
right,
are.
let's go into the tag team match.
So all right, tag team match. Oh man, surprise guest.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Thatcher made his I wouldn't say made his NXT debut, but was Matt Riddle's partner
Mm-hmm.
for the tag team match between Undisputed Era and Matt Riddle and what was supposed to be Pete Dunne, but yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
his in ring work is so sloppy, it's good.
You think
that's
so?
the it is kind
That's
of
his
sloppy. Timothy,
character. Yeah, like I looked it up afterwards. But
yeah,
like his character is I'm ugly, my style's ugly, but I'll get over.
yeah, but he's also has a mix of that of random. It's a I forgot. It's kind of like a
Like a
mix
bare
of
knuckle
the
brawler MMA type thing.
yeah
Yeah.
Right.
MMA kind of thing with the mix of the British strong style.
Yeah, no. And then I love what they said at the
A
end,
little
like
bit
the
of
no
everything.
teeth, no sign, but got the gold or whatever they said. That like that was pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, that the freaking spree belly to bellies that he went on was awesome.
yeah,
Especially because he made them look so ugly that they look so good. Um, yeah, Krishan, before you rate this match, do what I did. Go watch some Timothy Thatcher on YouTube. You'll see that's kind of how his style is. Like that's what his gimmick is.
yeah.
I'll
He's
do
been
that.
like that since I known of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I was looking at that match. I was like, yeah, this is kind of.
it looks like why the hell is
He
this dude
got
here?
something, but it's just kind of weird how he delivers it. That's what I'm
Yeah, no,
saying. That's what I'm saying. It looked like why is he here, but he can get it. He can still. He can make some noise. It's just that you just got to understand his fighting style. Because I was kind of confused when he was in the ring with what you call it? So
With Roddy?
yeah.
yeah,
So, but overall, Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher take the dub. And basically at afterwards, Matt Riddle tried to give him the title, and he was like, "Nope. This is just a favor from my boy Pete Dunne. He's the
I'll be your
champion.
partner until yeah.
I'll be your partner until this stuff is over." And then we get to what I think was the best moment of the night. Oh man,
Wait,
yeah,
pause. So during this match, Dexter Loomis was just staring at the
yeah.
match.
That was
Who is he
yeah. I
building a
remember that
feud?
part. Yeah.
Is he building it for Thatcher? Because oh my god, that would be money.
that
And
would be
What?
money.
Thatcher and Dexter Loomis, because they're both weirdos.
You see. You see. You see. Yeah. I see. I thought about that.
Or is he watching the
Or
Undisputed
let's say,
Era
hold
like,
on, but
yo,
Elias, what if they might be setting them up for a tag team?
Or what if they're actually like Moise said, what if he's looking after Undisputed Arrow?
yeah, like what if someone's
I
about to
don't
get
see
called
it.
up, or they're about to turn on Adam Cole, or
Or they
Kyle
or
O'Reilly
he's
can't
gonna
work
try
during the
to
pandemic, so maybe he'll replace Kyle O'Reilly for a bit.
or he might actually take out Roddy Strong. Or something. They're still telling. I'm excited to see that. I was actually I'm glad you mentioned that. I actually excited to see
Dude,
that
if they do the
going
Roddy
ahead.
Strong thing, and he does what he did with Christy Hemme with Marina Shafir, because Marina's not good in the ring and she doesn't need to be in the ring. Oh my god, dude! Oh,
That'd be awesome.
yeah, that would be fun. But I feel like Velveteen kind of just did it, so they should wait a while.
Kind of kills it. Yeah.
Uh,
But all right, so we go
Yeah.
back to afterwards. We go backstage, and Tommaso Ciampa is staring at the camera alone, and he's basically said that he's done with Gargano and Candice LeRae and all. He says, "Congratulations, Johnny Gargano, you were the better man." And then all of a sudden, he gets attacked. He gets laid out, and then you see a boot, which I marked out a little bit, which was Scarlett Bordeaux
you
taking
don't
the
know
boot,
that.
and then or you see a mysterious
What if it
boot,
was
which I'm
Aaliyah?
guessing really.
No, I know
No,
it was
man.
Scarlett. I'm just for our non-Mark
Nah, man.
out there.
So either way, we get a boot, and then we see Killer Cross's face, and all he says is TikTok, and NXT goes off the air.
I don't want him
What
to
a
debut as a heel, man.
I think he's better off as a heel.
But your first match, you should always be face, like they did with Austin
Well,
Aries.
if you don't, if
Hell no,
not necessarily, not
not with
necessarily
this
more.
Okay,
character.
you
Not with
remember
no damn
Baron?
Killer Cross shit. He can be healed all day long. Shoot, he'll sell it.
I understand. I understand. Baron Corbin's the best heel in the business right now, right? In
Yeah.
WWE, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
He debuted.
Comic wise, yeah.
They even had him as a face when he was teaming with Rhino.
Yeah, but when you look at debuts in NXT, Adam Cole debuted as a heel.
But he had a
Mhm.
moment, like he had a
Yeah,
stable.
but I mean, but you got to think about it. In this,
No,
if
I
if
completely agree. He is so good as a heel. I completely agree. But man, I just want to hear that pop for him.
that's what's missing. The crowd factor is missing. I think if Killer Cross would have got if he would have attacked Ciampa while he was in the ring, saying that promo, I think that would have gotten a pop because everybody's been waiting on Killer Cross's debut, which it was rumored that he's changed his name since WWE does the PG era stuff. They're
Corian
basically
Cross.
supposedly they're Carrion or Corian Cross, which is uh I read upon the meaning of the name and it meant something demonic.
Yeah, dude's a
I forgot
weirdo.
what the
Like if
true
you look at his
definition of it.
tattoos, really nice guy, but yeah, he's supposed to be a weirdo.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited for this. Excited where this is gonna go. I'm really
Yeah,
excited
Yeah, this is
for
gonna
it.
be
I
very
I still
interesting.
like what I said last week, and Krishan, I know you don't listen, so I'm gonna tell you this crazy idea I had. All right, and I know you'll
Okay.
respect it,
Okay.
unlike Elias and Angel. Okay,
Okay. Go for it.
this is almost as good as my Vin Diesel idea I had at Mania. That didn't happen because there was no crowd.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
Come on, Morris. But you got it.
so we saw Cross attack Zampa backstage, right?
Right. We saw
Suplex
that.
onto the concrete. Dude probably knocked out.
Right.
You have Cross and Bordeaux kidnap him, and you're like, "Hey, Johnny, you want your friend back?" And yeah, you and Johnny just went through hell, right? But you always have your boys back. It's so he's like, Johnny, you want your boy back? And then Johnny's like, nah, man, keep him. And then you show weeks of Cross and Scarlet torturing him, like beating him with like a pipe and just whatever, whatever you can get away with on TV. And then
Okay.
Johnny's like, and then you have Champa's wife, or you have someone acting like Ciampa's family come out and be like, Johnny, come on, man. Like, you got to do something. And then Johnny finally is like, all right, I'm going to go help him. Because you have no feud for Johnny as a heel. There's nowhere for Johnny to go as a heel. So as a face, Johnny is like Daniel Bryan. You want him at face all times. So this way you can turn
Right.
Johnny again. You could drop the storyline with him and Ciampa. Like, they never have to face off again. And they could become friends again or whatever. But then Gargano's just finally like, all right, I got to save my boy. And Gargano's like Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I don't think that's gonna work out, Doc. Not
Because
right now.
you're, dude,
I mean, I hear what you're saying,
would
and
it
I'm like
not
the fact,
be
okay,
intriguing?
Moist. I like the fact that it was drawn out, and I like your creativity. I'm vibing with that, but I'm just saying, as far as from an executive audience standpoint, trying to sell the crowd standpoint,
There's no crowd.
I don't think that's gonna work out. I'm trying to
Okay,
tell the viewer standpoint. I don't think
let
that's
me
gonna
let
work
me
out.
tell you
Yeah,
what
I
else
don't
you
think
can
Now,
do.
so.
obviously,
Let me tell you
okay,
what else you can do. So you want to
okay,
build the Ciampa and Cross. Why should I care about this match right now, right? So you have Gargano finally agree to save him. And then Gargano breaks into the secret lair. And Scarlett's right there, takes out the wife. Gargano goes to help the wife. Cross chokes him out. And then somehow in that melee, Ciampa escapes. And then Ciampa's like, nah, daddy's home. You want to face me? Come to my house where I got the home field advantage. Cross comes. You have a happy ending.
No.
Because
no,
if it goes like that, you don't know who's going to win. The way it's going right now, you know Cross is going to dominate the match. They're not going to have Cross lose. You know that. But if you build it up to 2-3 months of Ciampa getting tortured and then Gargano coming to save him, I think this is a
But
billion
I
I
mean,
think
dollar
at
idea.
the very
no, it's not because they
leave. How about
separated
leave?
them for a
How about
reason. Why? How are
right?
you gonna go from? How are you gonna go from Gargano betraying Champa to them
Right.
being finished with everything
Shawn
that
Michaels
they
and
do?
Triple H did it a million times.
Yeah, but they didn't do it that quickly. They waited a couple of
Exactly.
months
You
or
You gotta wait
years
a
to
couple
do it.
months.
you can hold it off for where Ciampa's torturing this dude for like 2-3 months. That way, Ciampa can be written off TV and heal. You can film all this stuff at once. And then Ciampa gets a couple more weeks off. You know, rest his body up, go hang out with the baby, go hang out with the wife. Just, dude, this is $1 million idea. I'm telling you.
No, just like your $1 million
Okay,
idea with Ben
I
Diesel
was
didn't come
joking about
true.
that, but this I am so serious. Like, I was joking about the
No,
Vin Diesel stuff. I
it's not gonna work.
okay.
It's not gonna work.
I
It
Moist,
someone's
Moist, let it go.
someone's listening.
Moist, let it
Sean,
go,
this,
man.
I was kidding about Vin Diesel, but I want
Okay.
this to happen. Like, you need.
Ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, if you're gonna listen to this, please don't. I
I
don't know. I don't see money in this idea. I see it building up has a couple of more weeks because they really just showed Killer Cross's face and just having Killer Cross coming out explaining why he did it, what he did, and explain the reason why, and then I guess introducing Scarlett into the crowd as well.
one thing I don't want is this guy better not be a bodyguard for Johnny. That's the last thing I want.
I doubt that this storyline between Johnny
Nah,
Gargano
I
and Ciampa's
completely
over.
agree,
that
but
shit
it's
is over with.
WWE logic. I completely agree, but it's WWE logic. This is something they would do. If you're gonna do something where you get the friends back together, where you get the band back together, like they say, do what I said.
I think I see a better I see a better plan for this. Hear me out. So Killer Cross comes out with Scarlet, right? He says,
Right.
I took out Champa because of this, and this. And then all of a sudden he's like, but we're not done yet. Just watch us. And then all of a sudden the next week, Gargano and Leray are coming in, and then both Scarlet and Killer Cross take out Gargano and Leray, and then that basically they're gonna be like, we did this because y'all think that y'all are the faces of NXT, but guess what? We're here. We're the new faces of NXT. Blah blah blah. This sets up for a match where somebody Dexter Loomis or somebody in general comes out and teams with Killer Cross to be a tag team DIY reunion, blah blah blah, or a 6-person tag, or
My way leads to reunion.
yeah, but my way is more logical than
No,
yours.
mine
You're
is
talking about kidnapping.
Yeah.
You're talking about kidnapping folks. I'm talking
what's
about
the
actually
what's the
straight.
one thing that people say about Gargano? His character's lame. That's what everyone says about Gargano. They're like, dude is so unlikable. His character's lame. Yeah, he's got that appeal, but like I don't like. I never think. Matt Morgan said it. You don't like Gargano, but when you watch his matches, he draws you to like the match. But you don't like Gargano. So
Yeah,
this is
I think
someone
what you're
where,
you know
where
you're thinking basically he doesn't have like a character gimmick, something that's appealing. Is that what you're after?
no,
no, he
no,
has.
he's the underdog. That's my gimmick for him. I love the dude. I'm just saying this is what other
Yeah,
people say. But you can have him be like that lame superhero, like Ant Man. Remember when Ant Man was coming out? Everyone's like, "Oh my god, Ant Man! This is gonna be so lame," and then
yeah,
they
but
made it to be hilarious. So
when you
you can have Gargano be the savior.
Yeah.
yeah, but it doesn't fit into the storyline that's been going on. So it's like it.
But what you
Right.
said doesn't either because they're teaming up again.
Yeah, but it makes more sense than you having people get kidnapped and tortured for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I understand. But the
But you
thing
know, okay,
is,
okay. A moist lies. Okay, listen, hear me out. I just want to respond to both of y'all. Okay, I hate to say it. I can't believe I'm saying this, lies. But much as I like your idea, lies, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't like the idea, Moist, but I really thought that Champa was actually gonna get kidnapped. I really did think that after I saw that. I'm not gonna lie about it.
and then you can link
I
all the
I don't know
I
about the
kidnappings.
actually
whole torture part.
I actually my prediction from last week was that that Lorraine Gargano were going to get taken out by Killer Cross and Scarlet.
That's what I was
So
thinking right there. That's what I
so
was thinking
so
because my whole deal was, well,
so
shit.
for this
Gargano's
storyline
done
to
with
get to
Champa.
take a for this
I'm sorry,
storyline to take
continue.
a twist and Killer Cross go for Champa,
Mm-hmm.
it adds more. It intrigues me more into why he did it, why he chose Champa over Gargano.
All right.
So wherever this leads, I'm interested. I'm already invested
I
in
think
this
I
because
think either of the ideas that me and you suggested would have people be like, "Oh crap, I gotta tune in." So,
yeah.
mine's a little more dramatic. It has that moist flavor that I put on there, the moist seasoning. Um,
He
but we'll
said
see
more
what happens.
seasoning.
And then you could always have Vin Diesel and John Cena save the dudes too. Um,
Next.
wait,
Anyways,
you could have Scarlett kidnap Simone Johnson, and then The Rock makes his appearance.
Where you be
anyways,
coming up with these ideas?
he just wants to see Ben Diesel in The Rock and John Cena in the ring.
Never gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Anyways,
Uh,
we don't talk about
Continue.
ratings here. NXT won the last 2 weeks. That's all we're gonna say. Y'all can look up the numbers.
yeah,
Uh, we let y'all know when AEW wins too. We're not marking out for anyone. I'm just saying AEW had a really bad show. That's probably why they lost. But next week's lineup is solid for AEW.
yeah. Next week's AEW episode looks to be more promising than this week's. NXT
Yeah.
it does as well. Um, I'm pretty much interested to see where this whole Champa Killer Cross thing goes. So, we'll see what happens
You know the one
next
thing I
week.
hate about NXT though? They do something big like this and then just wait like 2 weeks. Like next week, I can see it all be focused on the cruiserweights because all three of those matches go like 30 minutes.
Speaking of
And
which, the cruiserweight matches are. I'm actually excited for these matches, though.
Yeah, these are kind of
I
interesting.
want
What's
to
the
see
lineup
what
like?
they. So it's Drake Maverick, Jake Atlas.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember that one because I'm really interested in. I I think if you're a wrestling fan and you don't have time on Wednesday, you need to get on YouTube and you need to watch the Drake Maverick match just so WWE knows what they lost. Like I want Drake Maverick's match to be the most viewed thing from NXT. I don't care if Cross murders someone. I want the Drake Maverick segment match to be the most viewed thing on YouTube next week. Just do that for me, guys.
I agree with you. I think I if we're gonna support anybody, um, a Drink Maverick deserves to be one of the people that you need to see next week.
Yeah.
Did you get the other two
Um,
matches for Celeste?
And then y'all got this new part. And then hold on, time out. And right, fellas, y'all got this new person coming. What's his name? Phantasma. Phantasma.
He's the one that's been doing the
Nicolas
kidnappings. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold
Yeah, he
on.
seemed pretty decent.
Dude, you need to look up El Hijo de Fantasma. He was actually
killing it in
King
TNA.
Cuerno
Yeah.
on. He was King
That's what I
Cuerno
was
in
saying.
Lucha Underground.
All right, and that.
So
Like I said, I knew he looked familiar. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, so Elijah's gonna
so
tell you all
it,
the other two matches, and we're gonna sign off, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm pulling it up right now. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry. Come on, internet, hurry up. All right, cool. So next week we'll have Kushida versus Tony Nese,
Uh-huh.
and then El Hijo de Fantasma versus Jack Gallagher. Then you'll have
Ooh.
Jake Atlas versus
Trace Maverick.
Jake Maverick, and I don't
Mm.
see the third
Those
match.
were you
The
said
fourth match.
3.
Okay, the 3 matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and, like I said, please watch the Drake Maverick match on YouTube. You don't have to watch the whole thing; you can literally just click on it. But I want him to get the views.
Yeah. So just before we sign out, if you go to any of these people released, they got released Twitter pages. A couple of them already have their pro wrestling tee site up. So please go support them in this time.
Ryder's
You
shirt
could
is already a #1 seller on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, Ryder still has. I really like the way that Cody put Zack Ryder over. So
And
so we'll see.
we are out. Yeah. New wrestling handle. We're wrestling heat weekly heat. What are we?
Underscore wrestling heat.
Underscore wrestling heat. And I'm probably gonna do a Twitter takeover tomorrow and just tweet all my thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead. So
Go ahead.
I've actually been tweeting a lot from my personal handle. I am Accelerato. So if you get a chance to follow me on Twitter, I'm actually going to change the names of everybody on here so you can see our Twitter handles.
Oh, and then if y'all have Instagram, my Instagram handle's the same thing. There's a great video of me dancing if you want to go watch that.
So I am Mr. Laredo. Montgomery, what's your Twitter handle?
Monty Donnell 87.
And
There you go. That's the
and
one.
then Moise,
That's the
what's
one.
your
Moise 891.
ah, H91?
Yeah. And then we will be back sometime next week. I'll keep y'all updated on Twitter and on Facebook. But we will be back with top 10
And,
factions and top 10 women's with Matt.
and
Yep, we'll
obviously
have
we'll
Matt.
and obviously we'll keep y'all updated as far as the statuses of people WWE as far as
Releases and stuff. Yeah.
employees and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
follow us on Twitter underscore wrestling heat, and follow us on Facebook at Weekly Wrestling Heat, and follow our YouTube page at Weekly Wrestling Heat as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's show. From everybody here at Weekly Wrestling Heat, we are out. Peace.
Be
Peace.
safe.
Peace.